Hello, this is Annalisa from Faith Dream Crate, and welcome back to my channel. You are watching my fall card series for 2024. So, I will be using this stamp set by Tim Holtz. This is the Pumpkin Head stamp set, and I believe this is an older one, so I'm not sure if I can link directly to it at Simon Says Stamp or scrapbook.com, but if I can, it will be down below in the description box. But definitely check Amazon and your local crafting stores because these stamp sets are probably still out there if you're interested in this set. All of the supplies that I'm using in today's video that I can link to will be listed down below in the description box. And I'm going to pick 4 pumpkins from this set. The happier, more non-spooky ones. There's definitely some scary ones in here, some spooky ones. There's even a gourd. I think the bigger, tall one is more like a gourd. Maybe it's just a taller pumpkin. I'm not really sure. But as you can see, I'm going to stamp 4 of them here, and I'm using my stamping platform to do that. I'm creating a slimline card. And the sentiment comes with Happy Halloween, Boo, and Trick or Treat. I will be using Happy Halloween and Trick or Treat on my card. So I'm going to be stamping this in VersaFine Onyx black ink so that I can do some watercoloring with the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils because those seem to be my go-to coloring medium these days. I really love the results, and I love the results in this card especially. It's just so simple. And I love how this card comes together. I also do want to mention that this video is not sped up. Usually I speed up my videos because cards can take quite a bit of time with all of the details and different things that we add in. But this card only took me about 10 minutes. It's definitely nice to have a card that can be quick and it doesn't take super long. Sometimes cards take a little bit longer for me because maybe I do a little bit of it here and I walk away because I need to go help my kids with something or do something in the house, and then I come back to it later. So that can take time too because there's the time in between. But the good thing about videos with that is I can just start recording again and edit it, and it doesn't look like I took maybe 2 days to do a card, but this one honestly only took 10 minutes. Nothing is sped up. You're watching this in real time, which is so cool. That doesn't always happen because of the details that go into the cards. Some cards are more detailed if you add embellishments or you have a more detailed image. It can take longer and they turn out great. So all the stamping is done. Honestly, I think you could just leave this card the way it is. Maybe add some color around the edges. You could even give this to a friend or some kids to color. I used to get cards from the store from my grandma when I was a kid, and there was coloring parts in the cards. You could color inside the cards your own images, and I just thought that was so fun. So you could definitely do elements like that if this was for a kid or maybe even an adult, because there's the whole adult coloring book movement. So you could write inside, please color this card. This would also be a great bookmarker in color or black and white. So I'm pulling out those Tim Holtz watercolor pencils and using a few colors to layer the color on in orange, and then I'm going to add some green to the taller pumpkin or gourd. I feel like it's a gourd, but I don't know. It's called Pumpkin Head, but we went for all the happy ones, and that one was happy. I'm not into spooky Halloween. I like the fun, cutesy images and spiders. I don't like spiders in real life, but we can add a spider to a Halloween card because they can be okay. Crafting makes spiders cute. Let's be honest. It does. Alright, so I will be posting fall cards every Saturday for the month of September, and then the month of October, and then November and December we're going to dive right into Christmas. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I took a break from posting regularly after Easter cards. I just needed a break. And I took about 100 days off, and then I came back in July with a junk journaling project. It was a Christmas themed junk journal, and I'm hoping to add some pictures and memories from this upcoming Christmas into that. So I might share some of that on my channel too at Christmas. I'm also hoping to do some DIYs during Christmas, but we'll see how the season goes, because you know how Christmas and holidays get. They get super busy with all of the things, and you don't always get to the projects, but I will definitely be bringing you Christmas cards after fall cards. Last year and a few years before, I have done a DIY series, or I call it Craftmas, on my channel, where I do roughly 3 to 4 DIY projects. So stay tuned. That may or may not happen. I do have some ideas. Just a matter of, will I get to the projects? There's always so many things to do, but I will be sharing crafting with you and hopefully inspiring you along the way. I love how the watercoloring is coming together. It's not really watercoloring yet, but the coloring of the pumpkins is coming. Once you add the water, it's like magic. It just finishes that image and just makes it come to life. So just adding in some more detail, some darker colors of orange. And then I will watercolor these up and bring these pumpkins to life a little bit more. So I'm using the Tim Holtz fine detail brush here. To watercolor these pumpkins. And then once the pumpkins are watercolored, we will add one more finishing touch to this card. You could definitely add even more. You could add pops of color, you could add sequins, you could leave it alone, but I will be adding one more finishing touch when the watercoloring is done. And you could definitely use any coloring medium here. You could use your Copics or your Spectrum Noir markers. I have a few Copics in my collection, but have opted to use the Spectrum Noir markers. They have been cheaper for me over time, and I was able to get a bunch of them at a good deal at HomeSense / Winners here in Canada years ago, and they have lasted me, and then I've slowly added or replaced the markers over time. So love those markers as well. But once the watercoloring is done, which it will be done soon, we will finish up this card. So I'm just going to clean off my desk real quick and then figure out what to do with this card. So I stared at it for a minute and thought, how do I finish this card? Or do I leave it? So what I'm going to do is I'm bringing in my Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm just using it to distress the edges. I do this a lot on my cards. I love how it brings the edges to life and gives them a little bit more, adds a little bit more black to the card, and just finishes it off, in my opinion. So I just do all of the edges like this. Sometimes I do it subtly, sometimes I add a little bit more. It really depends on how the ink pad kind of moves and what I'm feeling. And then once all of the edges are distressed and black, I will be done with this card. And like I said, it only took 10 minutes and this video was not sped up, which doesn't happen all the time. So I love that. So we are almost done here, and I will show you the finished card. So here is the finished card, and that is the end of today's video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to have you join me here so I can inspire you along the way, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.